Hi friends. So I've tried to do this a few times because I'm new to this information and I wanted it to come out smoothly and it just kept coming out really, really clunky. So let's give it another go, see how it comes out. Try to make it quick so that it doesn't feel like it's being labored. But anyway, I also want you to understand and flow. I want it to flow well. So anyway, what I'm doing is a video on the number 666, and I'm not going to get into the finer details of what the prophecies say in the Bible or anything, but I do want to just talk about the number 666 and explain what information I gathered and some information that I added that I found interesting. So I just wanted to share this with you. Now, you can find this information. It's available. I didn't make it up, except for one part where I added that I came to some sort of conclusion about, which I'll get to later on. But for the most part, everything you can find online or other resources. Now, so 666, most people are associate that with Satan or the devil, or that it's an evil number and that it's the mark of the beast, etc., etc. Some people say that it's to do with Nero because his face was on money and Roman coins, and you could only participate in commerce if you used his coins. That's not accurate, not true. And some say that it's 6 protons, neutrons, and electrons, which is partly true, and I'll get to that later. Now, I'm not saying that this is conclusive or, this is just information that I found that I find interesting. Draw your own conclusions, do your own research. Now, I'm going to start with, 666. In the New Testament was written in Greek originally, and what that means is, in numerology, 603 score and 6, so that's 666. Now, if you look at the original symbol in the Bible, apparently, was this symbol. So this is where this is coming from. And this symbol is used in association with Christ. So this information is not made up. This is where I'm getting this information from. And so here is some of the information I have so far. This is not going smoothly. Just warning you now. Okay, so 600 is associated with the letter chi, or ki, which looks like an X. 60 is associated with this little serpentine-looking thingy, which is Z, here. And 6 is associated with this letter that's called stigma, which looks like an S, or little hook type thingy. Now, stigma was not originally in the alphabet. They made it up out of combining 2 letters, which was Samsi and Kappa, 990. So they added those 2 together and made stigma. And stigma it's also called digamma, but it is now currently referred to as stigma. And so digamma is F or W, which is also called vow or vav, which is the Hebrew letter for W, or V, which is 6. So anyway, that's where that comes from. Now, if you look at these Christos, the letters, the symbol for Christos comes from the chi, or the key, with the S and the Z in the middle. So that's where that comes from. And I didn't make it up. This is research. So you can look it up for yourself if you like. Now, if you look at this, XES, it looks like XES, which is sex backwards. And they use this to mock us, which is also yes, or IHS, which is Isis, Horus, and Set for the Jesuits, or IES, which is also Jesus, JES, Jesus. the J, the I, and the Y are interchangeable. They're basically the same letter. And so hex is 6, which is also a curse or a spell. And so the hexagram or the hexagon, when you overlay the male and the female symbols, you get the hexagon or the Star of David, which is also Israel, symbol for Israel, which is also the duality god Lucifer, the duality being the male and the female overlapping. And when you do that and you overlap, you get the hexagon in the middle here. It's also the square and compass of the Freemasons, with the G or the generative power in the middle, which is also God. And this also represents the sine wave, or the sun on the ecliptic, or the DNA, right? It's the same thing, which is also XXI, which is 9/11, which is also Christ. It's all the same thing. This is the sine wave in between the two magnetic poles. G represents life force. It is also a cross. Z represents serpent energy. It is also a cross. Cross is just two things intersecting. And a stigma is a hole or a mark, which is also nailed to the cross, also a cross. So then you get triple X's, XXX. So this chi, Z, or ki, Z stigma is also a swastika, serpentine energy, and the sickle with the hammer. So that swastika is fixed. Swastika represents the fixed signs on the zodiac, which is Yod, He, Vav, He. That's Yahweh. So you've got fixed signs, which is the operator or the preserver, which is Yahweh, which is Lucifer, which is Anu, which is the operator. And then you've got this serpentine energy, so the cardinal signs of the zodiac, the generator, creator, which is Jesus, or Enki, which is the serpentine earth god, which is G. So it's also the tarot. And then you've got the third one, which is kind of, I guess, like this, which is the sickle or the sky, the mutable destroyer, which is Saturn, which is Satan, which is Enlil, which is D. So then you get God, which is for generator, operator, destroyer. Right? So that's why the G in the middle, it stands for generative power. That's the creator. Generator. This is like the womb where all things come from. This is where things manifest. Anyway, I digress. So when I saw that this was the sickle and swastika and the 666, you've got this and this. This is the Cairo, which some might have seen. This is the symbol for Christ that you see in churches, the XP, Windows XP. So I just put all three of these together is the sign of the zodiac. It's all the zodiac. So this is the universe. This is you inverse. As within, so without. That's what the 666 is. In my opinion, that's what it seems like. That's what it's saying. So this is all 666. Overlaid on top of one another is the zodiac. It's just like when you overlay this on top of each other, you get the male, the female, the duality, this 66. Basically, this is the Holy Trinity. That's all it is. So, XES is Ra El, which is Isis, Ra, and Elohim, which is Moon, Sun, Saturn, which is Isis, Horus, and Set, which is also Krishna, Radharani, and Balarama. Forgive me if I spelled those wrong. It's also, this is black light, this is white light or gold light, and this is the red and the blue. This is the duality, and this is dielectricity. This is magnetism, and this is electricity. Electricity, magnetism, or radiation. This is also all three of them is atum or atom or Adam, which is you, man. So the atom is made out of protons, neutrons, and electrons. So the proton is magnetism, dielectricity, and electricity. So this is also the yin yang. Oh my gosh, I was hoping I would. So you get this serpent energy in the middle, and around the edges is the blue red or the red blue, and then you get my crappy drawing. It's really bad, sorry. So this is black, dielectric, magnetism. It's got a little bit of each in the middle, and then it creates the red blue of the electricity on the outside. So here's what I think the 666 is, or the XXX, or it's basically the universe. It's you. But I think it means like the material reality, this material world that we're in, which is the illusion. And so this is where we want to be, where we belong, with the black and white duality, not the red and blue duality of the electrical illusion that we're in. So this is where we belong, right here. But where we are is the red and blue duality. It's you. You are God. You are the universe. You are everything. It's the Holy Trinity. That's what it seems like. All right. I'm going to leave it there. So hope you learned something. I hope I was clear and not too slow or discordant. So anyway, I will talk to you soon. I got some more info to come. Bye.